It's been really good so far. It's been a dream to get the call-up. I think it's something that every kid dreams of, and I'm just really proud to be here. I'm soaking everything in, and I'm learning a lot. Canada is my home. I'm happy to be back as I'm living in Belgium now, and I feel at home with the guys. Everybody was really warm and they're welcoming, and on and off the field, everything has been great. I think this whole year itself has been really crazy for me and really fast. I haven't really got time to sit down and really think about, all the achievements that have happened for me this year, but yeah, looking back on it, it's been a really crazy year. I'm still settling in. It's a bit different. Obviously the culture, just everything on the field, off the field. It's been a bit of time to get used to it, but I'm getting there. I feel really comfortable. I feel like I joined a team that directly had plans for me to be an important player right away, and that's exactly what I wanted. I traveled overseas not to sit on the bench, but to be on a team that I could play for, to be on a team that had plans for me and a team that I could make an impact for right away. And I feel like I found that, and I'm really enjoying my football right now. Yeah, just soaking in everything, learning, seeing their habits, seeing how they train and what they work on to get to the highest level. Obviously, that's something I want to reach as well. So kind of just mimicking what they do and just taking advice from them has been really important for me, and I'm going to take it wherever I go. I think that comes from just maybe watching football, growing up as an attacker, always looking up to strikers growing up. I never really looked up to anyone in the back line growing up. It was always strikers, always forwards. I always wanted to be like them. Movement is the most important thing because it sets you up for your goals, right? If you don't move, you won't get a good shot, right? So it's about that counter movement that gives you that split second to be able to take the best shot possible, and that's what I like to focus on when I'm making my runs. I think the most important thing when you are in a goal-scoring area is to do the first thing that comes to your mind. When you think about, oh, should I go here or should I go near post, far post, whatever it may be, that's when you mess up, right? You have to think with your instinct, and you have to just go with that. The CPL helped me in every way. I think it added a lot of professionalism to my game. Obviously, previously, before I joined the CPL, I wasn't in a professional environment or a consistent professional environment. And just having that professionalism, that men's football is very important for people who are young. Being exposed to what it's like to, when you win, there's a lot at stake. So it just gave me a lot of responsibility early on, and it really helped me with just the tactical side, professional side, on the field, off the field. So the CPL has just really been great for me.
In for Kwasi Poku, and that's an excellent finish. Kwasi Poku, who's no longer a new number 9, he's one of the best number 9s in the Canadian Premier League.
I didn't have time to waste it all going to Forge. I think that winning was in the identity of Forge. So right away, I kind of picked up on that we're in this league to win it. I had to keep my standard at a high level every day, which, like I said, helped me. It was a surprise for a lot of people, but it wasn't a surprise for me. I know that Coach Bobby was aware of my abilities in front of goal, as he sees it in training every day. So when our strikers got hurt and the option was to put me at striker, I wasn't very surprised. I was ready, I was focused, and it worked out and got me here today. So.
Great feature right there. And another Canadian soccer success story. 2024, what a year for Kwasi Poku. 21 years of age, playing for Forge, working his way into the first team, working his way into a prominent role with a position change, playing up top. Now he calls Belgium home. And oh, by the way, he's being called up for his first Canada camp as well. This is Oh Canada, Oh Baby, or should I say, Oh Canada is at home? Oh, baby, because Canada's playing at BMO Field on Tuesday. It's been a long time coming, a good 10 months since they last played a home match in this country. Let's address Kwasi Poku first. I mean, you feel like he's just scratching the surface, just in terms of the player and the person that he's going to become in this game, KJ. It's great to see.
It's one of the best Canadian soccer stories of 2024. You know, I think about him when he was injured in the final. I think about him when he got hurt against Chivas Guadalajara in February and couldn't make that trip. And he's on the periphery trying to get in. And a success story again for Canadian opportunities, right? Just giving them opportunity to shine. And I sit here proudly. I've got a big smile on my face just watching him shine in that interview, talking to our Oliver Platt and Nora Stankovic, because it's just, for me, he's shining. You can see he's growing.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, I've seen him as a boy and not, you know, he's kind of naive in the camera and he's a little bit shy. And now he's talking about himself. And I can see the player that he's becoming and the man he's becoming and the anticipation about how he can break down his own plays. Jordan, it's a beautiful thing.
He's earned it. And look, I talk about young players in this league all the time. You have to convert potential into product, and he did that. And he took his lumps. Finished second last year for U21 Player of the Year. Didn't want to talk about it. It burned him. But look at now. Look at this season. Look at all he's done.
I remember watching the great behind-the-scenes footage, courtesy of the Canadian Premier League, in last year's final, was pulled off at halftime.
Yeah.
It was heartbroken. Look at him shine now. It's wonderful to see. By the way, this is Oh Canada, Oh Baby, presented by CIBC. Jesse Marsch is going to be managing his first home match for the Canadian men's national team. He's been waiting for this moment as well. What do you expect to see his first game on home soil, Jordan?
Goals. Going forward with intensity, goals. Look, and when you watch this team play, there's some big names that you cannot ignore. David, Laren, everyone going forward. Schaffelberg's been a hit as of late. But when I break down the numbers, 6 goals in 10 matches, you want to see this team break forward more. 2 against the U.S., 2 against Uruguay, and Copa America. At BMO, where they've only lost 1 in, 20-something matches, Wheels? This is where
happened the last time where they lost.
Yeah. This is where they have joy. This is where they have all the feel-good stories, KJ. I want to see this team expressing themselves going forward, because if they can hold this and get a few wins in Nations League, they're encroaching into top 20.
Yeah, look, it's all about Nations League. No, you mentioned it. That's where they failed last year, right? And the entire comeback season in 2024 has all started because of that, where it went wrong against Jamaica, having to play in the prelim game in Frisco against Trinidad and Tobago. And it's all small marginal gains, right? You only got 1 game. So what does Jesse Marsch do? What can we get and maximize the best out of this group during this time? Camaraderie, connection, we'll get to in a second, connection to the country, playing at home. I'm with you. Better from set pieces, better from dead ball situations, not just, you know, with the ball, with throw-ins, concentration, getting yourself more and more ready, and then incorporating younger players who are getting the chance to come into the squad to know that the environment and the culture just continues to make sure that these players are ready.
Every match is an opportunity, and some first-team regulars are not with the Canadian men's national team. A lot of them are, mind you, but let's hope for a big crowd at BMO Field on Wednesday night, and we'll see who steps up against Panama. Decent opponent as well. Lost 2-0 to the U.S., but were competitive throughout that game. A couple things that we've noticed over the course of the last week. Canada Soccer embracing the community with the players and the coaching staff within the greater Montreal area, hosting camps, open practices. It seemed like a real positive week all around. I believe the previous generation of Canadian players would have wanted to do the same thing. COVID and all the... It was just been a mess in recent years. So it was good to see that they could finally take a breath and have some time with that kind of outreach. Also, what we've noticed is Jesse Marsch working with coaches, preaching his footballing identity. And this is something where it's been a little bit of a missing link, KJ. What are Canadian footballers going to play like as a collective?
Yeah.
Whether you're a youth national team, a senior men's national team, what is a Canadian footballing identity? And he's passing along his beliefs and his footballing identity to Canadian coaches. What do you make of this?
Yeah, it's obviously very important, and I think I sat here months ago when we thought he was going to get the job, and it was never just about wins and losses for me. I thought he was the right, compelling personality to lead this team forward, and to put players forward and let them be the ones who are shining when they need to be, and then for him to step forward. And I don't think, for me, he's openly talked about this. I don't see like an overwhelming arrogance that it's my show. It's me who has to lead it. I don't see that from him at all. And I agree that he deeply cares about this. But the connection to Canada is very, very important. We're hosting a World Cup in 2026. This country is enormous. It's one of the great strengths of it, but it's also one of the great weaknesses about how you can connect with these people. They played games for fun away from home for far too long. And it's more important to go and connect to a wonderful Quebec soccer community sometimes than playing another side in another friendly.
Yeah. KJ, I understand what you mean about Jesse Marsch. Oftentimes, you might not be the person that wants to dictate how everyone else should do things, but I feel like that's a necessity in this country to a certain degree.
He knows that, by the way.
We need someone to galvanize and to fill that role.
He knows that, and he's been allowed to be, I think, to flourish to do that as well.
Right.
Look, he will be determined by wins and losses and how he performs in the World Cup and whether he can win a Nations League or a Gold Cup. He knows that, but it's the other things that go unnoticed by many that will be very, very deeply impactful. It's not necessarily about, you know, what you found it. It's how you leave it. And when he leaves it, he wants to make sure that the rest of it is taken care of to somewhat, because, you know, we cannot be here in Canada and think that we know everything. There's a lot that we can learn, and that's how you bring other outside influences into our country and be humbled from that.
Well, we got to run. It's been a really positive week for Canada soccer, but I mean, it's home games. Like, they matter the most.
Yeah.
That's when you really develop the connection with shared memories and shared moments. We've an hour-long pre-match show in the build-up to a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. It's Canada, it's Panama from BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario, on Tuesday, right here on One Soccer.